If you think you have got to make a plan to create a fun toddlerhood for your kid, the tips below may be of help to you. 1. Put your child in charge of his or her own potty training. Sooner or later, you have to get your toddler out of diapers. In fact, potty training can be empowering for toddlers. Fights with toddlers about their bodies are fights that you can't win. Toddlers' potty training should be considered as an important step to their independence. Surely, the result depends on how parents handle it. If your toddler shows no interest in potty training or toilet training, you might as well let your toddler be around other children who have used the potty or toilet. In this way, your toddler will naturally emulate them. 2. Sidestep power struggles. In front of your toddler, there is no need to prove that you are always right, let alone force your toddler to do as you want. As your toddler grows, he or she starts to frequently assert that he or she has become a real person. That's absolutely appropriate. Whenever your behavior does not compromise to your toddler's rights, you should allow your toddler to say no. Toddlers want to gain more and more control over their own lives, and generally toddlers throw temper tantrums in case they think they have deprived of their own power. 3. Preempt tantrums. First, you should be aware that tantrums are very normal for toddlers. Secondly, since a lot of tantrums occur when toddlers are tired or hungry, you've got to think ahead that preemptive feeding and sleeping, cozy times, reconnecting with your toddler, regular bedtime, and peace time without external disturbance, whatever ways to rest and calm down your toddler, can help preempt whining and prevent tantrums. Never do anything till the last possible minute. Don't drag a tired or hungry toddler to do anything, just make do and try to defer things to a later period. 4. Manage your toddler by using play. As your kid steps into the toddler stage, he or she becomes less and less willing to be ordered about. What they love most is to play. So, you should get enough ideas to play and cooperate with your toddler. For example, get your toddler to drink up milk by pretending that you are a puppy who wants to steal milk. You can fly your toddler up to the bathroom when you need to bath him or her, by pretending you are a flight attendant who is preparing for takeoff. Your toddler is more likely to be persuaded to return to his or her seat. 5. Avoid taking it personally. It is normal that sometimes toddlers will be hurtful or reject you in some respects. Try not to take it personally, because your toddler naturally learns from you to modulate his or her own anger. Actually, when you are educating your kid, you can also achieve your self-growth. 6. Set aside time to meet your toddler's need of exploring the world. After all, a toddler's job is exploring, experimenting, and learning the world. That's also the normal development of his or her brain. Rushing toddlers is a common trigger of tantrums, and most of these tantrums can be easily prevented after you set aside time for your toddler. 7. Cultivate your toddler's empathy. Social skills begin with empathy. As toddlers' understanding ability improves, they start to have deeper and deeper empathy for others. For example, they start to share more with others, and they can consciously recognize that hitting others is inappropriate. 8. Don't force your toddler to share. If you do so, that will delay the development of awareness of sharing. If a toddler is willing to share, there must be a premise, that is the feeling of security in his or her ownership. Instead, the idea of taking turns is more acceptable when your kid is playing something with other kids. Help your toddler wait for his or her turn with empathy. Tell your toddler that it is polite to put toys away before a friend visits. In case your toddler does share and observe the positive effect of his or her choice, he or she will be more likely to make such choices based on the goodness of heart. 9. Use age-appropriate discipline. What is discipline for toddlers? That generally means redirecting toddler behavior, helping with emotions, and setting empathic limits. Different parents will take different measures against toddlers' same bad behavior. Some may opt to use positive discipline, and some may simply opt to spank their kids. And actually, those kids who were spanked tend to behave more badly than those kids who were subject to positive discipline. Even yelling at kids can also produce negative effects. They harden their hearts with resentment, and thereby tend to become defiant. From toddlerhood onwards, the notion of violence sneaks into a toddler's brain. Unwittingly, parents have used practical actions to teach their toddlers how to understand and deal with violence. 10. Be the person who you want your toddler to be. As your toddler experiences more and more relationships, a toddler's ability to interact with others improves quickly, and he or she will learn to recreate what he or she experienced in the brain. Your toddler learns both sides of the relationship that he or she is in. So don't be out of temper with your toddler if you really don't want your toddler to throw you a tantrum. Again, don't yell at your toddler. Your yelling just sends your toddler a wrong signal. Throwing you tantrums is also okay. 11. Steer away from visual electronic media. For kids under 2 years old, it is better not to watch videos or TV, because research found that it shortens a child's attention span and impacts his or her brain development. Older kids are advised to watch nonviolent, educational TV for at most 1-2 hours per day. Currently, a lot of toddlers spend too much time on watching TV or videos, and this tends to form an unhealthy addiction. As these kids grow old, probably they will choose to watch other types of TV shows, although they have less interest in cartoons, and they would rather flip through TV channels or computer programs than a book. Gradually, it will also become more and more difficult to monitor what they view all the time. 12. Feeding is your kid's job. Your job should be providing delicious and healthy food, and your toddler's job should be to feed himself or herself. No need to dwell on how much your toddler eats. Toddlers are no longer infants, and actually they will also not starve themselves without parents feeding. Even some kids are too busy at daytime to eat enough food, and thereby they ask parents for snacks at bedtime. This may drive a parent crazy, and it will not help toddlers settle down and have a good sleep unless a bedtime snack has already been added into the regular diet routine. If the bedtime snack is healthy, it will also help ease the burden of dinner. Therefore, in this case, you could enjoy your toddler more at dinner. No need to prod them to drink and eat. And it is also a good idea to combine with the bedtime story. 13. Do not rush into teaching your toddler the alphabet. The toddler's intellectual work is about observing, exploring the natural world, learning to be accepted, acknowledged and validated. Emotional self-management will lay the groundwork for toddlers' intellectual development. No doubt, it is never wrong to instill a love of reading at any time, but be not in a hurry to teach the alphabet. Reading to toddlers and telling them stories should be the best way to encourage them to love reading. 14. Preempt whining. Whining represents a toddler's feeling of powerlessness. And whining can graduate into a habit. Whining can be nipped in the bud, as long as you know how to avoid letting your kid have chances to learn that things can be got using whining. That is to say, let your kid learn that whining is not necessary, and even if your toddler whines, you should also not reward him or her. Instead, you are just advised to help your toddler deal with the feelings of helplessness or hopelessness. 15. Pay attention to disruption of routines. To a certain extent, toddlers develop self-discipline by staying in a predictable, safe routine in which they learn what to expect. If you disrupt your toddler's routines due to your own reasons, many bad situations will probably occur, such as toddlers' tantrums, and difficulties in falling asleep. Surely, in many cases, you have no alternative but to choose disruptions. However, as an aspect of protective parenting, you should learn to disrupt in a wise way. And actually, toddlers have the ability to understand why parents disrupt routines, but the pity is that parents are often impatient or lack a comprehensive method of communicating with their toddlers. 16. Encourage your toddler to experience competence. As long as toddlers think they gain more power, they will be more willing to cooperate more and thereby tantrum less. So, how should you do to help him or her feel more powerful? It is not so difficult, just try to listen to your toddler. Give your toddler chances to experience competence, and allow your toddler to make decisions by himself or herself if possible. In order to let toddlers increase confidence in their capabilities and believe they are competent persons, daily work experience is required. As adults, you may have got accustomed to thinking that work is always burdensome. But on the contrary, toddlers like to figure out those household functions, and they maintain much more passion to participate in work. Anyone can feel their own value by contributing to work. Toddlers are also not exceptional, and toddlers really like to learn practical things. It is a good idea to get your toddler involved with things you do, although this probably can make it harder to finish your job, but your toddler will learn and gain practical skills during the process. In the near future, you may be pleased that you had ever been patient with your toddler and got him or her work with you. And actually there are many household tasks that your toddler can join in. Your toddler can stand on a bench or stool to help you in the kitchen. Your toddler can help you run simple errands. The following are more special tasks your toddler can do. Make a snack by themselves, such as peeling an orange or egg, or making a cheese sandwiches with crackers. Wash pans and pots. Wash vegetables. Wipe off the dirt on the desk. Clean the refrigerator. Set the table. Sweep the floor. Turn on or off the lights. Scrub the tub. Pair the socks, fold clothes. The activities above are ultimately more educational than watching TV, and toddlers are also often interested in them. In addition, by completing such household tasks, your toddler tends to feel capable of doing more things, and this will definitely increase your toddler's sense of strength and self-belief. There is no such hidden significance when it comes to watching TV. For toddlers who feel enough powerful and competent, they think that they don't have to assert their own power by deliberately acting against parents' expectations. In this way, your toddler becomes more and more confident and helpful, and this is a win-win situation for both kids and parents. Thank you for watching. For more parenting tips, you may click the link below to go on watching.